Cookies and cream cookies. Are you a fan of cookies and cream? Then you're going to love this recipe for cookies and cream cookies. These soft, chewy cookies are filled with bits of chocolate sandwich cookies, giving them a delicious and unique flavor that's sure to satisfy your sweet tooth. Plus, they're super easy to make, so you can whip up a batch in no time. But that's not all. We're also going to show you how to make a rich and creamy cookie dough frosting to top off these cookies. Trust us, this combination is heavenly. So if you're ready to satisfy your cravings for cookies and cream, make sure to stick around for the full recipe. You won't be disappointed. Hello and welcome to today's video on how to make cookies and cream cookies. I'm so excited to share this recipe with you because it's not only delicious, but it's also super easy to make. Plus, it's a great way to use up any leftover Oreo cookies you might have lying around. So let's get started. I'm sure you've heard of the classic flavor of cookies and cream, but for me, it's more than just a flavor, it's a love affair. I mean, who doesn't love cookies? The crunchy, sweet, buttery goodness is always a treat. And when you combine it with creamy, smooth vanilla ice cream, it's like a match made in heaven. But what really sets cookies and cream apart for me is the versatility. You can find it in ice cream, milkshakes, and even in frosting for cakes and cupcakes. And let's not forget about the endless possibilities of cookie flavors. Chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, a peanut butter, the options are endless. Not to mention, it's a perfect balance of indulgence and nostalgia. It reminds me of childhood memories of indulging in an ice cream cone on a hot summer day or sneaking a few cookies from the cookie jar when mom wasn't looking. And imagine when you get this flavor in the cookies. Well, they are my all-time favorite, honestly. So, what makes these cookies so delicious? Well, for starters, they're made with a classic chocolate cookie base that's soft and chewy, just the way we like it. But what really sets these cookies apart is a generous amount of crushed cookies and cream chocolate that's mixed into the dough. As the cookies bake, the chocolate chunks melt and create pockets of creamy, cookie-filled goodness. Plus, the crunchy bits of cookie add a delightful texture to every bite. For me, cookies and cream cookies are the perfect combination of chocolate and cookie flavor. They're indulgent, satisfying, and oh so delicious. Number 1. Ingredients. Let's start making these heavenly cookies. First, let's gather all of our ingredients. You'll need 1 cup of unsalted butter, softened, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 large egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of Oreo cookies, crushed. Just chop up some Oreo cookies into small pieces. You can either use a food processor or just use a sharp knife. Once the cookies are chopped, mix them into the dough until they're evenly distributed. Number 2. Method. Okay, so before we begin mixing everything together, let's preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Now, let's start by creaming the butter and sugar together. To do this, I'll simply beat the butter and sugar together in a large mixing bowl until they are light and fluffy. This should take about 2 to 3 minutes. Next, I'm going to add the egg and vanilla extract and beat until everything is well combined. Now, in a separate mixing bowl, I'll combine the flour, baking soda, and salt. And then I'll gradually add this dry mixture into the wet mixture, mixing until everything is well combined. Finally, I'll add in the crushed Oreo cookies and mix until they're evenly distributed throughout the dough. Now it's time to start shaping the cookies. I love this part. Let's start by taking a heaping tablespoon of dough and rolling it into a ball. I'll gently place the dough balls onto my prepared baking sheet and leave about 2 inches of space between each one. You have to bake these cookies in the preheated oven for 8 to 10 minutes or until they are lightly golden around the edges. Our cookies look ready, guys. Let's remove the cookies from the oven and I'll let them cool on the baking sheet for a few minutes before transferring them to a wire rack to cool completely, because I really don't need these to crumble before I can enjoy these. Also, don't be afraid to get creative and try out different flavors in your cookies and cream cookies. I know cookies and cream is already a classic and beloved flavor combination, but let's mix it up a bit. Instead of using regular chocolate cookies, try using mint chocolate cookies or red velvet cookies for a refreshing or festive twist. You can also switch out the traditional vanilla frosting for a flavored frosting like strawberry or lemon. But it's not just the cookies and frosting that can be changed up. Mix in some fun add-ins like rainbow sprinkles, chopped up candy bars, or even a drizzle of caramel or chocolate sauce. The possibilities are endless. And that's it. You now have a batch of delicious cookies and cream cookies that are sure to be a hit with the whole family. Number 3. Storing these cookies. Now for this batch of delicious treats, you'll want to make sure that they stay fresh and delicious for as long as possible. Here are our top tips for storing your cookies and cream cookies. Allow your cookies to cool completely before storing them. This will help prevent them from getting soggy or melting together. Keep your cookies in an airtight container. This will help keep out any stray moisture or odors that could affect the flavor or texture of your cookies. If you have a lot of cookies, consider freezing some of them. Place your cookies in a sealable bag or container and store them in the freezer for up to 3 months. If you're planning on keeping your cookies for a longer period of time, consider storing them in the fridge. This will help preserve their freshness and keep them from going stale. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and that you give it a try. If you do, be sure to let us know how it turned out in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more recipe ideas and cooking tips. Thanks for watching and happy baking!